Humans and animals have managed to create intensely emotional bonds. The only problem is that our lifespans don't match up, which leads to quite tragic situations. Sometimes our puppies grow too old, or we age too much to take care of them. Either way, we have to part ways one day and go to the other side. To make matters more sad, our pets feel the same pain we do when we lose them. Most people don't know how to take care of a grieving pet, which is why they're seen revisiting the same grave. Here are a few similar stories. Nurturing and cherishing the time we have with our pets. That's exactly what Mehmet İlham from Turkey did with his dog Caesar. He would go on walks with him after he retired and spent hours playing with him. Mehmet knew he was getting old and that they would have to say goodbye soon, but he didn't expect that day to come so suddenly. All of a sudden, he became very ill and had to be admitted to the hospital. At the same time, Caesar refused to eat or even sleep without seeing Mehmet. Unfortunately, Mehmet passed away, and Caesar was the first one to see his coffin. The grieving dog followed the coffin throughout the whole ceremony. After the funeral, Mehmet's son, Ali, took him home. Soon, Ali realized that Caesar wasn't home in the mornings. When he decided to follow him, he realized that poor Caesar was just visiting his owner's grave. This was Caesar's way of grieving and getting over the death of his beloved best friend. However, Mehmet's family was caring and loving enough to make Caesar feel better just a while later. Pets don't have to be with you at all times to build a strong bond. Here's a story about a Malaysian man who loves cats and would tend to the cats of the neighborhood because he loved them so much. Sometimes he would just pick them off the streets and take them home to feed them. This way, most of the cats had become his pets, and they all recognized him. Unfortunately, he passed away and was buried on the grounds of Kelibong Mosque. A white cat approached the grave during the burial ceremony and stuck to it like she was glued. The cat kept whining and crying. Even though the people there tried to move her away, she kept coming back to that one spot. Finally, the poor cat understood that her owner was no more and tried to unearth him. The people at the funeral thought she was going to defecate on the grave, but that simply wasn't the case. The poor soul was only trying to follow the strong scent she detected. After all, animals do have an amazing sense of smell. The cat was simply trying to grieve in the only way she knew how. Some cats don't like to spend time with anyone but their owners. One of those cats happened to be Meow, Sungchul's cat. Her owner was a university student who got into an incident on Monday and crashed his bike. Poor Meow has no idea that he won't be coming back. The death of a young family member is obviously hard for the other family members. Still, Meow refuses to eat, drink, or even sleep without him. She keeps crying all day, and all she does is wait by the door, hoping for Sungchul to come. Sungchul's father tried to feed her forcefully, but she would slip away. That's not even half of it. She refuses to let anyone touch Sungchul's clothes, as if she's protecting her memories with him. Meow was so close to her owner that she cried just like this when he didn't come home for a few days during a trip. Hopefully, she'll start eating soon, but now she only wants to grieve. Just like how people become sad when they lose someone they love, cats become just as depressed. We're not sure if cats understand death, but one thing they do know is that their human is not coming back home. This cat hasn't seen her owner in days as he passed away for unknown reasons. The cat grew increasingly impatient for him. When the cat saw a video of him on the phone, she instantly cuddled up the phone as if she knew he wasn't going to come back. Not just that, look at how she's cuddling up to the screen. Dogs have always been our best friends, and this story will just confirm that as a fact. A 33-year-old man named Ryan Jessen suddenly passed away from a brain hemorrhage. While he was on life support, the hospital agreed to a very unexpected but heartwarming gesture. Ryan's heart was to be donated to save a 17-year-old kid's life, just around the same time as Christmas. And as a gesture of gratitude, the hospital let Ryan's dog in to see him on the hospital bed. Ryan's sister hoped that this would help their dog understand why he never came back home. Though the dog didn't understand what was going on, he knew that his owner wasn't going to make it in the next few hours. That's why he held onto him as if he didn't want to let go. Ryan might have left us, but this beautiful memory lives on forever. Surprisingly enough, birds can grieve and even mourn like humans. That's because birds have the same brain areas, hormones, and neurotransmitters as we do. Parrots are exceptionally good at creating emotional bonds with humans, which is why they feel equally hurt when their owners are on the brink of death. Terry Culver here has been with his African gray parrot named Sinbad for about 25 years now. The parrot had been noticing the deteriorating health of his owner and understood that she didn't have much time left. That's why he refused to leave her side. Even in the video, he wanted to be as close to her as possible. Not just that, the smart little parrot knew where to put his feet to not hurt her. African greys are some of the liveliest pets ever. They sing and dance along with their owners, but here you can just see how distressed the poor soul is. Hopefully, he found another owner to love. You might not expect animals like horses to show pain, since they're considered symbols of strength. However, that's not always true. This is Sereno the horse. He had an incredibly special bond with his 34-year-old Brazilian owner named Wagner de Lima. There were many people at the funeral, but one of the guests who was visibly hurt was Sereno. The poor animal laid his head on Wagner's coffin and kept whinnying as if it were crying. He would even punch his hoof into the ground. Wagner was a semi-professional cowboy who worked with Sereno for almost a decade. Unfortunately, he was killed in a motorcycle accident, and his horse somehow just knew that Wagner's time had come to an end. Generally, animals don't have the same perception of death as humans, but Sereno definitely understood the emotions here. In fact, many people present at the funeral said that they wouldn't have believed Sereno cried at the sight if they hadn't seen it in real life. Not all cases of grief in animals are the same. For example, this dog named AJ here wouldn't stop crying at the shelter after realizing he had been abandoned by his owner. Though his owner wasn't dead, he had left him alone, which had the same effect on the poor dog. With actual tears in his eyes, the staff at the shelter felt so bad that they had no idea how to comfort him. Luckily, he was soon adopted by a new family that decided to love him till the end of time. Alright, comment below which of these animal stories made you the most emotional. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Trend Joint, and we'll see you in the next one.